Hi, what you're about to watch on this video is a portion of a webinar that I did in my private Amazon Facebook group. We've got over 2,000 sellers that are in this Facebook group, and you can find out more about my course and book and all the other stuff that I do at my website at AskJimmySmith.com. I just wanted to thank you for checking out the video and let you know that this is a portion of a much longer webinar that I've done in the group. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me at AskJimmySmith.com. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great day. We'll start out with where Replens is a business model today. And first, I wanted to address, just for anybody that's brand new, like let's say you're just in this conference and you've never really been around the community too much, or you've been around for a little bit. I wanted to kind of excite you for what Replens is as a model and what it continues to be and grow to. So first and foremost, there's over 700 success stories just for Replens alone. If you include the My Silent Team, the testimonials from My Silent Team Facebook page, the 400 and something testimonials from the Replens Facebook group, the testimonials from my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. We've got over 700, maybe even over 800, but I felt pretty safe putting 700 just from, just some easy math that I could do. But it might be more than 800 or even 900, depending on the situation. So there is a pattern here, right? It's a reason it's a proven Amazon course. This has been proven. This is probably a statement that no other course or business model out there from, just a course perspective can say that there's 700 success stories. Now, to just give you full transparency, some of those are, hey, I made my first sale. And some of those are, I'm selling $300,000 a month, doing these strategies, adding in additional strategies from the Replens model. So for anybody that's new out there, just realize that this does work and it's continuing to work and will continue to moving forward into the future. The opportunity definitely is continuing to grow. It has not shrunk. I have said this multiple times on different webinars that whenever we first did the Replens course, whenever Ryan and I first did that, I was super worried that our business would just get crushed because so many people would start selling on these Replens and the business itself wouldn't be able to withstand the amount of competition. But that has just not been the case. We've been able to grow each year. We've gotten to the point where we're comfortable with our business and we're continuing to add employees and add processes to make it even more hands-off. The opportunity is continuing to grow. So use that to motivate yourself as well moving forward. There are people that are leaving their jobs to pursue this business. There's fathers coming home, mothers coming home, being able to spend more time with their families. There's so much here that it pumps me up. So I wanted to pump you up before I get into some of the nitty gritty of the rest of this presentation. There's also people that unfortunately are losing their jobs in this weird economy that we're in. And they're able to get back on track with this business. I've seen, I love getting those notes. I love seeing those testimonials where people have lost their job, or they didn't have any other place to turn. And they started with $100 in the Replens model, and they're now selling $1,000 a month or a couple $1,000s a month. And, it's just amazing to see that happen. So you utilize that as your motivation as well. Additionally, I see people, ask me questions about Amazon and e-commerce in general. Like, hey, is this starting to become more saturated? And so I want you to know that Amazon has continued to add more infrastructure to support the demand, not only from a seller perspective, but also the customer perspective. They needed to add, more warehouses, more people, and they are actually supporting us in that venture, which helps us. It might be kind of a process where shipments get slowed down or something happens and things get a little bit more slow during this process, but it is a good thing because they're working through those kinks and it will help us to grow even more in the future. There are more consumers getting accustomed to the process. It's just happened due to the pandemic over the last year and a half, 2 years. We've got more customers coming onto the Amazon platform and all the other platforms as well. So it's pretty amazing to see that there are more customers because as we'll talk about in a little bit, there's also more sellers. So it's a better experience though for customers and sellers alike because there's more infrastructure, because there's more product availability. It's becoming a better experience for not only the consumer that's buying the products because they're able to get more things online and shop from home without having to leave their house. And it's becoming better for sellers because the infrastructure is getting built to continue to support the growing demand from the consumers. So I just wanted to excite you there, get us on the same page for where we are, where things have gone over the last couple of years through the Replens course, and where I expect that they'll continue to go to. And it's showing no signs of slowing down. All the testimonials and success stories that continue to come in each and every day, each and every week, it's beautiful to see. So where or what are some of the issues that we're currently facing? Because, obviously I can come on here and say, hey, look at all these awesome success stories without, talking about some of the issues. So I wanted to go through some of the issues or challenges that really are pretty simple to get around. And it's not like you're getting around them, but you can handle them head on. And so let's go through the first one. There are more brand protections. So you've got more brands coming into the Amazon space, the e-commerce space, and they're trying to protect their brand more by getting sellers off, working exclusively with wholesale partnerships like Rich Potter's course discusses. And so that can become an issue from a Replens standpoint, because, you might have a brand that you've been selling for a year and then it gets restricted. However, there's also more brands that are getting added every day that we can source that aren't protecting their brand from the standpoint of they don't care who sells it. They're just adding the listings to Amazon to get more exposure. And so we have more opportunity as well. So as pretty much one thing falls off, one brand falls off, there's more that come on each day. And we have seen very little effect to our business. I haven't run the numbers. I would probably say no effect to our business with some of these brand protections, because we're able to find more products and more brands to sell each day. Now, this is also an opportunity for you. Because you can, once you get some experience with Amazon, you've got a base of Replens, you understand the platform, you understand what ultimately you're doing there, is you've got the opportunity now to help these brands through these wholesale relationships, through these partnerships. So don't take these brand protections as an issue, take them as opportunities. You might see a brand that gets, starts getting restricted, or maybe the brand's trying to sell on that listing themselves and there's 10 other sellers. They're not going to ultimately get the results they want unless they've got somebody helping them. So that gives you an opportunity to go and help them. But the only way you'll find that out is if you start selling products, you start seeing how Amazon works, you take a look at Keepa charts, you see what is changing on each listing, and see, ultimately how you can help the brand as much as possible. So that is an opportunity. But if you don't want to do any of that, like if that doesn't interest you, you can take solace in that first bullet point that new brands are added every day for us to source. And that's going to continue to grow. More brands are getting created and more brands are getting added to Amazon that we can sell each day. Now, supply chain shortages. I've actually done a YouTube video on this. And Jim Cockerman and I talked about it on a podcast episode recently as well. But there are supply chain issues right now, unfortunately. And I hope they get cleared up soon, but we can't count on that. So some just quick suggestions that I have for how to handle these supply chain shortages. If you're running into them in your local area, look for multiple suppliers of the product in your area. That's the first step. Now, I know it might sound like a pain, but if you've got a product that you're selling from Walmart, well, if that's no longer in stock in Walmart, well, check out your local grocery store, check out Target, check out other stores in the area. What that's going to force you to do as well is to expand your horizons into multiple different suppliers, which is just going to help your business anyway. That's something we should be doing as sellers either way, is have multiple suppliers we're buying from. So I highly recommend that would be the first step. If you're finding that some of your products are running out of stock because of supply chain issues, check out other suppliers. Next, if you've got the ability to place an order with the store, place some larger orders if you know that this particular item is running out of stock a little bit more than it used to. Additionally, if you can't place a larger order with a store, but you know that something keeps running out of stock, whenever it comes into stock, I would recommend buying extra. If you're brand new though, don't do this. Because I don't want you to just think, oh, I need to buy more product because it's going to run out of stock, and you don't have any data or history to actually prove that out. So if you've been selling for 3-4 months by now, and you've got a replen that has been doing really well, and you see that it's going to ultimately, or that it continues to run out of stock, well, then you've got the ability to maybe buy 60 days of inventory instead of just 30, and you can hold back some of the inventory and send it in on a later shipment. So just another suggestion there. Now, this is something to keep in mind as well. If you find something that's very difficult to keep in stock, consider raising your prices, right? Raise your prices above the buy box and wait it out. Wait a bit longer if you know that an item's hard to find, because if it's hard for you to find in your area, more than likely there's supply chain shortages regionally or nationally, depending on the product. So I am more inclined now to want to hold my prices higher than the buy box than I might have been, a year and a half or so ago. But if you ultimately see that, hey, I'm holding my price for a couple of weeks higher and it's not selling, you can always lower it back to the buy box. But many times you'll sell it at a higher price than the traditional buy box because of these supply chain issues. And that helps you to make more profit. It makes it a little bit more worth it. And so, yeah, hopefully that can help you as well. Now, increased competition, this is kind of a Trojan horse bullet point here, because not really, right? Yes, there are more sellers that are coming onto Amazon, but it's always been competitive. I know that, people say, and I've said it, that back in 2015, it was like the wild, wild west, and you could, buy anything and you could sell it. And it was just awesome, right? No restrictions, nothing. And you could make a bunch of money, but it's always been competitive. There's always been little things here and there that competitors have done. And honestly, if you just focus on taking action, continually finding new replens, it's going to work out in your favor because the competition, many times, there's going to be new sellers coming on. They're trying this out. They, haven't gone through some of this training in the course, and they're just trying to sell products on Amazon. Then they're going to fall off eventually because they're not going to make any money. But if you know Keepa, if you've gone through the courses, if you've continually learned and grown in your Amazon journey, the competition really doesn't matter. I don't look at the number of sellers. I don't even look at the quality of sellers anymore on any of these listings. I just care about the Keepa charts, as we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I don't see increased competition as an issue, and it's because it's never really become an issue, except little things here or there, or maybe one product, the price tanks. Okay, well, there's 1,000 other ones that we sell on, so it's not a big deal. Increased pricing. And by this, I mean your supplies and as well as your inventory. So because of the supply chain shortages, we're seeing increased prices on supplies, on inventory, but really your price should increase as well if your costs are. Now, I put this note here that it may not be immediate. So if you're seeing an immediate price change, something went from $4 to $5, and you try to hold your price a little bit higher, it might not essentially trickle up the chain to where your price is going to be higher now when it's actually going to sell there, but it will slowly increase as other sellers are subjected to these new prices. So just realize that, oh no, these prices are increasing in the stores or on my supplies. It's a short-term problem most of the time because other sellers are going to experience the same exact thing, and eventually the prices will go up. So if you see the prices raising, you can raise your price and hold out a little bit longer. That's up to you. But if ultimately it's not selling after a couple of weeks, you can always sell it at a lower profit and revisit that product later on down the road. Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. Be sure to leave a comment below with any thoughts or questions you might have, and I'll make sure to respond to as many of them as I can. And while you're at it, if you found value in this video, hit the like button and also subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new videos that I put out on this channel. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the content that I provide, I'd really appreciate that. That would help me out so that more people can get to this channel and get the content out further. And lastly, make sure to visit my website, AskJimmySmith.com. You can check out all of my content and get a bunch of different free resources that I have available to you on AskJimmySmith.com. I really appreciate your time and the time that you took to watch this video, and I look forward to serving you in any way that I can in the future. Thank you and have a blessed day.